What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. And you remember how last time we were in here, I said that we were taking our last ride on the KLR 650 right there? Well, turns out I might have been lying. Why? Because today, we're taking that thing to a dealership, and we're gonna see if we can't change green for orange. This video is powered by Flying Eyes. Whether I'm riding on-road or off, they're my choice of sunglasses thanks to their thin and flexible stems, so I can ride for hours with no pressure points. Click that link down in the description below and use the code SC10 for 10% off your order. Now, I have no idea if this is actually gonna make it to YouTube or not, because I have no idea what this deal is gonna look like. So we're gonna go to a dealership and see what kind of deal we can work. And this bike that I'm trying to get might look awful familiar for people who remember a couple of years ago what bike I had in the stable. But before we can hit the road, I have to find all the little bits and bobs that go with the KLR, because that's gonna help increase this trade-in value, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Owner's manual, gonna want that. Gotta back these bikes out of here so that I can actually get in my attic. Ta-da! It's a lot of junk, but over there somewhere are my saddlebags. I gotta find those real fast. There they are. I gotta clean up a bunch of stuff because nobody wants to get dirty saddlebags. Every now and again, I get people wondering what kind of person I am. I think I'm Greek. I have a penchant for Windex. You know, they say Windex is just a glass cleaner, but honestly, it's just soap and water with some flavoring in it. It's also great seasoning for your spanakopita. Original windshield, need to clean that up. Unfortunately, this windshield's not in great shape anymore. I didn't take particularly good care of it. There, that's not terrible. Looks pretty good. My other windscreen right here is in much better shape. This old V-Stream. This one's the windscreen you'd want on there anyway. Come on, KLR. Come on. Come on. Come on. The power of Thor. Yeah. There we go. Owner's manual, stock foot pegs, stock brake master cylinder, stock shifter arm. I think I lost the mounting hardware for my windscreen. I don't know where the originals are, but I should have some spares. OEM bolt kits for Kawasaki's. For those of you who are asking, this one I got from Amazon. This one I got at Cycle Gear. Nah, none of those are gonna work. Okay, big bolt kit. A lot of these bolts ended up on the Hawk. But I might be able to scare up some that are gonna work. No. I was worried about that. That's, I think, the only thing I don't have is the 4 mounting bolts for the windscreen, because I don't run a windscreen on this because it doesn't do me any good. So I took it off. Gonna need to keep hunting. So I found 3 of the 4 original ones, but I did find 4 matching bolts right there. These are all the same. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the Kyles at the KTM store, they're not gonna be able to tell the difference that those aren't stock. Ta-da! Tell me that ain't stock right there. Looks great. Now, one thing a lot of people forget, and I did this actually with my smc-r, I forgot to take both sets of keys in, so gotta go find the other key. So the reason it's important to have one of these is because the key code usually is stamped on the key ring, and so if your new buyer needs new keys, they have the key code. One more thing I need. It's probably sitting in the van. I still haven't unloaded the 600 from the track day, but this right here, this is what I was looking for. that is my maintenance journal for the KLR, I think. Yep, these are the maintenance logs for the KLR. So I filled them out with some torque specs and stuff that you're gonna need if you buy this KLR, and some of my mod notes right there, seeing exactly what went on, and then the maintenance records are here. So you can see exactly what happened. If you're wondering what this is actually from Today Let's Build. He sells these for like $5 or $9 on Amazon, and they are super, super, super handy. I keep one for every one of the motorcycles that I do maintenance on, actually. And to be honest, I need to start one for the VMAX because I haven't, but I've filmed almost everything. So yeah, this is super, super handy if you're doing your own maintenance. Highly recommend it. And again, it's like $9 on Amazon. Since I have all the stock takeoffs, the bike is in great shape, relatively low mileage. It's got about 6,000 something miles on it. Where'd I put the keys? 64.99. So relatively low mileage. I would expect the dealership to hit me with $3,000 as their first offer. I'm gonna tell them to go pound sand. Then with the second offer, I expect $4,000. I'm gonna send them back, and I'm gonna see if I can get $4,500 out of this bike. If I were to sell it stock like this, I would list it for $6,000. But you do pay a premium when you trade it in at a dealership. That's just the cost of doing business. So I expect that this motorcycle will value at $4,500. The motorcycle I am looking at costs $12,000. So that's actually a little over 20%. And then I shouldn't need cash down, but if I do, I've got my wallet. With all that being said, let's hit the road and go see if we can't make a deal.
One eternity later.
Alrighty folks, it's gonna be a little bit noisy because we're by the highway, but we finally have a little bit of forward motion. Unfortunately, the KLR is coming home with me. I'm gonna have to sell it secondhand because they only wanted to give me $3 grand for this motorcycle. I think I said 45, which apparently that's what they were able to sell their last KLR 650 ADV for. So I'm just gonna have to sell it myself. So if you're interested in this KLR 650 right here, let me know. But now I gotta head back to my place. I gotta get the van so that I can haul this bike back, because that's the only way I'm gonna be able to pick it up today. So, dang it, more work. Why didn't you guys tell me that I had a strap all wrapped around my rear wheel? It got all stuck in the chain and stuff. Friends don't let friends make stupid mistakes like that. God, guys, damn.
Tomorrow.
There it is, baby, the new motorcycle. This is my 2023 KTM 690 SMC-R. Oh, wait, no, it's an Enduro R. I ride it like it's an SMC-R though. Those of you who have been around for a while will kind of recognize this motorcycle because back in the day, I actually had the other version of this bike. I had a 690 SMC-R, which was my most favorite motorcycle that I've ever owned. It was the most fun, it was the most rowdy, it was the stupidest thing I've ever bought, but I've been missing it ever since I got rid of it. But for the uninitiated out there, this is a 693cc single-cylinder motorcycle. Until recently, it was the most powerful single-cylinder street-legal motorcycle you could get your hands on. Ducati has since taken that over, but they only make a supermoto right now. This thing makes 74-ish horsepower and 54 foot-pounds of torque while weighing in at 350 pounds wet and ready to ride. This is as capable of riding on the highway as bigger ADV bikes are, though it can be a little bit sketchy. But it is so light and so easy to ride through the twisties, and I assume the trails. I haven't taken it out there yet, but I watched Big Rock Moto's video on the 690. It's awesome. Ian goes way into depth, where, like, if you think my reviews are detailed, go check out one of Ian's. He dives into everything. It's got a quick shifter, it's got technology on it, even though it might not look it by looking at the dashboard. This thing is a seriously weird motorcycle, and I'm actually gonna have an entire review coming out soon because I actually know everything I need to know about this bike already, aside from the dirt performance. I'll be taking it on a dirt loop here shortly. But I could sit here and jabber on the side of the road all day, or we could take it out in the twisties and go have some fun. They used to say that KTM stood for Keep the Manual, but in reality, people haven't given KTM the credit for the strides that they've made in terms of reliability in the last few years. Specifically when it comes to the LC4 motor here, these things used to be a disaster. They would always break down, their maintenance intervals were crazy short, but now these things, they're basically rock solid. The intervals are 6,000 miles, which is really nice, and there's no way that a modern KTM with 80 miles on the clock could possibly have anything wrong with it. Right? 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 Just KTM things, man. God damn it. Yep, what you're looking at right there is a leak right on my brand new motorcycle that has 80-something miles on it at the time of filming. Upon further inspection, it looks like that gasket just failed, or somebody at the KTM factory decided not to torque down the bolts right. So now it's gotta go back to the dealership for warranty work after one day. Alrighty, folks, I'm gonna start this first ride off with what is essentially going to be the thesis of my review for this bike. And that is, KTM are motorcycles built by morons for morons, and I love them because I'm a gigantic moron. I'm completely comfortable in admitting that. And the reality is, there is no other manufacturer that's making motorcycles that are just purely designed for having fun. They're stupid, utterly stupid motorcycles. I mean, why? Why would you make this? It's a single-cylinder motorcycle. Used to be the biggest production single-cylinder motorcycle and the most powerful production single-cylinder motorcycle on the planet. I gotta say, man, it's so dumb. It's so dumb that this bike has this much power. It should not. And yet it does, and I love it. Oh, I love it to bits. Oh, God. I need to slow down a little bit on these TKC80s because they're brand new. And I keep riding this thing like it's an SMC-R, and it is not. It doesn't have nearly the cornering capability on these dirt tires. If I were able to put some street tires on here, the 17s, it would handle just like my old SMC-R would. But also, it's a giant single cylinder that has a quick shifter and a auto blipper. Why? Why, KTM? Why did you do that? I don't know, because it's fun. And that, again, that's the ethos of every KTM motorcycle. There isn't one KTM bike, aside from the Duke 200, that isn't purely about having fun. Now, unfortunately, I'm still in the break-in phase, so I'm not, like, really hammering on it or anything like that. But I'm still having a really good time. Here's the real question, right? Why didn't I just get another SMC-R? Why didn't I go buy another one of the bikes that I loved so much? Well, the answer's twofold. So, first and foremost, the SMC-R is a phenomenal motorcycle. However, the brand new SMC-Rs, they are $13,500. And at that point, you might as well just go buy the Ducati. Pure and simple, the Ducati absolutely annihilates the SMC-R.
And I'm completely comfortable saying that. If Ducati made an Enduro out of this, it would completely annihilate this motorcycle too. But beyond that, in the last few years, I've really had this dirt awakening where I've realized that more so than anything else, what I enjoy doing is going on big, fun dirt day rides. I love going and riding trails. I love going out and riding dragging my bikes up to Sturgis and doing all of that stuff. It's really fun for me to do that. So I was kind of at a crossroads. Do I want to get the smc-r, which is demonstrably inferior to the Ducati, for roughly the same price, or do I want to get myself something that could replace my KLR? And I did some looking. I was like, all right, let's look at a DRZ 400S because they're cheap. But you get the DRZ 400S, and then you get a set of Supermoto rims, and you basically have a DRZ 400 SM that can play on and off-road. And that's a really great value proposition, specifically for me, because, again, I'm trying to get more off-road. But I live in Texas, and Texas has very fast highways, and the DRZ 400 is not particularly well equipped for Texas highways. It can do it. It absolutely can do it, but not at the speeds that I'm comfortable traveling at. You know, you're a little bit slow, you're cruising in the right-hand lane, and it's only got 5 gears. Believe it or not, I don't really have that many technologically advanced motorcycles. Technically I do in the Solar, but I don't really consider that a motorcycle. But all my bikes are old. They're all either built on ancient tech or they're over 10 years old. And so, you know, I wanted something that's got some modern equipment on it. Which is all the more funny when you consider how stupid this dashboard is. KTM, I recognize a Trail Tech when I see one. That is a Trail Tech dashboard. Don't you lie to me. And this is a 2023, and we're in 2024 right now. So I actually got this thing for like $1,500 off the MSRP, which is awesome. I was A-okay with that deal. But this is a motorcycle that in every single way ticks every box for me. It literally, it could be my one and only motorcycle if I wanted it to be. It's fast enough to do big highway days. It's not super comfortable. You know, you need to get a different saddle because this is like sitting on a freaking sawhorse. Also, the orange saddle, KTM, why did you do that? It's going to turn black and dingy really, really fast. That seems like a dumb... Like, I get it. You want the whole motorcycle to be orange. But an orange seat on a dirt bike, it's almost like you decided you wanted to put a white saddle on it, and you just wanted it to absorb all of the taint sweat and dirt and grime that it possibly could. I love the sound of this intake. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Honestly, I like the sound of the intake more than the exhaust. I really don't plan on getting a super fancy exhaust. I may just get one that's quiet and lighter because this can it gets to be like 1,000 degrees. It's so warm because the catalytic converter's in there. But yeah, I need to replace it, but I don't want something loud because I love the sound of hearing this thing sucking in air. It's oh god, it's so good. At the end of the day, this was an impulse purchase. This absolutely was an impulse purchase. I wasn't gonna wait because I've got Get On ADV Fest coming, which, by the way, link in the description below if you want to go get yourself tickets. I'll be there. Jake the Garden Snake will be there. I think Ian from Big Rock Moto will be there. I know Dork in the Road's coming. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're interested, link in the description. So I'm going to be taking this there. I'm going to be riding it, having a bunch of fun, and I'm going to get some Supermoto rims for it, and I'm going to take it to a Supermoto track and a real racetrack. And despite the fact that this stupid motorcycle is already leaking oil, with 88.6 miles on the clock, it's already leaking oil. I do not regret my purchase whatsoever. However, this is where I need to point out the review that's coming, which is going to be the most savage review ever put on the channel. It's absolutely going to be a savage evisceration of this motorcycle. Because while it's awesome, it is way too overpriced for what it is. At $13,500, I cannot recommend this at $13,500. I don't know what KTM's smoking. So that review is going to be coming, and it's going to be interesting, to say the least. But I'm okay with this bike because I have an emotional attachment to it, and despite it being overpriced, it is exactly what I wanted. And there really isn't a lot of competition in this space. KTM makes them all, and for anybody who's like, oh, you should have gotten the gas to save money, they're all made in the same factory, you know. And the gas gas is kind of budget. You don't know until you look at it, but you put the gas right next to the KTM, and you can tell where they're saving some cash. Ooh, I do not trust those TKC 80s yet. I will see you in the next one. Bye. I don't know. I forgot my sign off. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later. That's how I do it. Bye.